Hello and welcome to the first episode of Inside the Storm. This is your weekly show on everything Newport Storm FC. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the brand new State 5 Northwest League as well as previewing our senior season. You're going to hear some insight from our brand new head coach Rex as well as our TD Nick. With that being said, let's get straight into the show. This season, our senior men's team is going to be competing in the State 5 Northwest League after achieving promotion in last season's State 5 West League. Now that might sound a little confusing to you, and it is. Basically, Football Victoria, football's governing body here in Victoria, has decided to restructure the football leagues completely by adding a brand new State 6 and State 7. So basically, winning State 5 last year or achieving top 2 guaranteed you promotion, which actually meant remaining in State 5, while the rest of the teams either went down to State 6 or State 7 depending on their placements. Now, where does that leave us? Well, State 5 Northwest is now made up of teams who finished in the bottom half of the table in State 4, such as Keilor Wolves or Thornbury Athletic, as well as the promoted sides from State 5 North and West, so Meadow Park, us, and obviously Bendigo. This means that State 5 Northwest is basically a hybrid league of teams from last season, and joining us again in the league are teams like Bendigo City, who we played last year and had a title race with, obviously, in our West League, as well as teams like Meadow Park, who we played in the championship semi-final. All in all, this means that the new State 5 is going to be far more competitive and difficult than last season, playing against teams who have been established for many, many years and have senior programs that are a lot older than ours. Now, the level of the league might have risen significantly, and we're still competing in the same division, but the challenge this year is going to be a lot more difficult than it was last year just by how good some of these teams are. And that's something that the entire senior setup, the players, the coaches cannot wait to get into. Now, one of the biggest changes from this season compared to last year is the players. Obviously, a lot of the players who were with us last season have now moved on, which means that there's practically a brand new squad of players that some of us have never seen before. And that brings with it a lot of excitement, but also some challenges, obviously, because in preseason, gauging new talent and building a squad from scratch and basically changing the vision of a product and the actual concept of the project itself, moving towards younger, hungry players who, want to see themselves growing and building alongside the project and alongside the club's vision, means that there's a completely new level and different profile to some of the players that we had last season. A couple of players who are really, really exciting and definitely to keep your eye on would be Blue, the captain, who we've seen a little bit, and Gorky, who scored in the cup game against Uni Hill. Obviously Eunice up front, you've got Bruno, you've got AB, Jack in the midfield, Nick's obviously returning, but basically you've just got a new type of player, I think is the best way to say. And there's a lot of excitement about what this senior squad can do this season, because just because the players have changed doesn't mean that the goals have changed. And obviously the goal for this season again is to go back-to-back, achieve promotion again. If we were to win State 5 this season, then we would be given a berth into State 4. So the objective remains the same, but the personnel or the cost, if you want to think about it, is completely different. Obviously, Rex, as the new head coach, also brings a slightly different vision in terms of how he expects things to operate, and the culture around the club has been altered because of him and his vision and his commitment. And I think it's been a really, really positive impact that he's had ever since taking over as the new head coach. Obviously, with the coaching staff, there's been a couple of changes. Abs, who has been with the club for a couple of years, is now in charge of reserves, and Nick has taken a little bit more of a active coaching role as well with the squad. So it's really, really exciting, this new project from all levels. And I think as a fan, you can be really, really excited to see some of these players play, but even to be around the coaches. Now, our first game of the season, luckily, is at home, which is obviously a great way to kick off our season. And we take on Thornbury Athletic. Now, obviously, we were in different leagues to them, so there's not that much background information that we have. We haven't played them before ever, so that's really, really exciting. This will be the first time these two teams meet. But a little bit of background on them. They played in State 4 North, and they finished 10th place with a goal difference of -32 and 15 points. Now, you might think that makes them a much weaker team, but they actually ended the season extremely strongly, going unbeaten in 5 games. So we're not expecting anything easy or to, even a rollover. This is going to be a really, really tough game against a side that's going to be heavily motivated, a side that's improved a lot in preseason, had a good cup run. So we're definitely expecting a challenge, but the boys are going to be up for it. And we think it'll be a really, really good game, a proper contest. But obviously, playing at home for the first game, we're expecting there's a bit of a home advantage with our fans there. So we're definitely really, really confident going into the first game. We interviewed Nick and Rex to get their thoughts on the first game of the season and some of their season objectives, so check that out.
Yeah, the objective obviously is to win the league, and what I want most from the team is to build a competitive team, create a good culture where the boys can compete and be competitive with each other, and yeah, hopefully we can push for promotion. That'll be the ideal. Obviously it's a long way there and hard way there, but I'm sure and I believe the players.
We're extremely excited to show our fans exactly what we've been working so hard on in preseason. It's been about 6 weeks of getting this project ready just to jump in, and it all kicks off on Saturday with Coach Rex at the helm. Now, come down to the ground. We're playing 1 p.m. for reserves and 3 p.m. for seniors, so it'll be a really, really fun day out. We've got beautiful weather, and yeah, we're just excited to kick off our title charge, I guess, as reigning State 5 champions. I think we're one of the teams expected to do well, and there's definitely a different notion about the team this year going into last year. So we're definitely not to be underestimated. Doesn't matter who we're playing against. And we're here to compete for another successful season and another successful league campaign, and ideally back-to-back trophies. So catch all the action down at the Bond Reserve this Saturday. Again, reserves kick off at 1 p.m., seniors kick off at 3 p.m. And if you miss it, make sure to check out the highlights, the media around it. And yeah, come down, meet the players, meet the coaches, come join the matchday experience. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.